KEET-TV and the League of Women Voters of Humboldt County present a forum for candidates running for Superior Court Judge of Humboldt County. Viewers may submit questions during this forum by calling 707-445-0811. This forum is also being streamed live at our KEET.org website. And now your moderator from the League of Women Voters, Kay Escarda.
Good evening. I'm Kay Escarda with the League of Women Voters of Humboldt County. I'd like to welcome all our viewers tonight for a live candidates forum with the two candidates for Judge of the Superior Court. Candidates with us this evening are Ben McLaughlin and Steve Seward. The League of Women Voters, a nonpartisan political organization, encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. The League never endorses candidates or political parties. We do, however, take position on issues after extensive study and member consensus. The League is dedicated to providing impartial information about voting and the political process. The local league has been presenting these candidate forums in cooperation with KEET-TV for 32 years. For most of those years, Carol Masterson was in charge of coordinating the league, KEET-TV, and all the hopeful candidates. We lost Carol to leukemia this year, and so we have dedicated this year's series of forums in her honor. We now have a committee doing what Carol did all by herself for 25 years. Thank you, Carol, and thank you, KEET. So, to continue, League members are serving tonight as phone volunteers, question sorters, timekeeper, and courier. Their names will appear in the credits after the program. Since the majority of our program tonight will use questions called in from the viewing audience, I encourage you to begin calling in your questions to 707-445-0811. Our volunteers are waiting to take your calls. I'm going to give you a job description of Judge of the Superior Court. Judges interpret state and local law in a fair and unbiased manner, hand out penalties to those convicted of crimes, and rule on civil disputes. Judges serve 6-year terms and are elected by county voters on a nonpartisan ballot. A Superior Court judge must have been an attorney admitted to practice of law in California or have served as a judge of a court of record in the state for at least 10 years immediately preceding the election. The salary range is from $210,000 to $214,000. If a vacancy occurs during the 6-year term, the position is filled by appointment by the Governor of California. If an incumbent judge is running unopposed in an election, that judge's name does not appear on the ballot. The judge is automatically re-elected following the general election. An open seat doesn't happen very often, so it's rare to have a judge's race on your ballot. The League is pleased to bring you this forum to help you make an informed decision. And the format tonight will be as follows. Each candidate will be given a maximum of 1 minute to respond to questions previously sent to the League or phoned in by the viewing audience. At the end of the question period, each candidate will have the opportunity to make a 2-minute closing statement. The candidates have drawn lots to determine the order of closing statements. So don't forget to call in your question to 707-445-0811. And we will begin the first question with Steve Seward. This first question, Steve, refers to your work history as a lawyer. Describe your trial experience and what you've learned from any cases you've handled that you believe prepare you to be a judge.
Thank you for the question, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for putting on this important forum. I have extensive trial experience, both as a deputy district attorney, where I currently serve, as well as a defense attorney. I served as a defense attorney for 7 years in Los Angeles County and in the Bay Area, as well as in federal court. I currently serve as a deputy district attorney in Humboldt County, where I prosecute some of the most serious crimes in our community, including murder, manslaughter, as well as important and complex cases involving white-collar crime and embezzlement. Through that extensive experience, I have learned exactly the type of thing that a judge needs to know, which is how to conduct a courtroom, how to handle evidence in court, and how to comport oneself in that important position. And I'll bring that to bear as the next Humboldt County Superior Court judge, if elected.
Thank you. And now Mr. McLaughlin. The same question. Do you want me to repeat it?
No, I think I have it. I
Okay.
appreciate the question again and reiterate what Mr. Stewart said about thanking the League of Women Voters for hosting the forum. I've been practicing law since 1999, primarily in criminal, whether it was as a prosecutor or criminal defense attorney. I've been a public defender doing felonies for the last 5 years. Prior to getting into criminal law, I did civil law. I have done some family law, but primarily criminal law as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney, probably for equal time. In that time, I've had over 100 trials. A vast majority of those are before a jury. So I do have the experience picking juries, arguing evidentiary issues, being in court, seeing how trials are run, the voir dire process, and those things. I think that makes me the best qualified candidate.
Thank you, Mr. McLaughlin. You will have the second question first now. Describe your life experiences that you think make you the best candidate for the position.
Excuse me. So I was asked this question fairly recently, and I feel like during my life I've done everything from being a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker. I've had a lot of different jobs. I enlisted in the Marine Corps out of high school. I've driven a forklift. I've worked at retail. I've compacted hazardous waste. I've driven forklifts at receiving docks. I think what my past history has shown is that I will work hard. No job is beneath the dignity of the court. You do what needs to be done. You do it well. You do it efficiently. And that's what I've learned throughout my career working prior to becoming a lawyer. And it's how I would comport myself as a judge as well.
Thank you. And Mr. Stewart, describe your life experiences that you think make you the best candidate for the position.
So upon graduating from Humboldt State University in 1998, after graduating with a degree in political science, I worked in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill for a congressman. I was involved in the legislative process. I worked primarily on veterans issues, but I was involved in the creation of legislation, which is an important thing to bring to the job, important experience to bring to the job of Superior Court judge, because judges are asked to look at legislative intent behind different laws. So I have that unique legislative experience. I have experience in civil law. I have experience in family law. I have served as a defense attorney in the largest court system in the country in Los Angeles. I've been in every court in Los Angeles County, every court in the Bay Area. So I have the experience and knowledge to do this important job, and I will bring all of those experiences to bear if I am elected Humboldt County Superior Court judge.
Thank you. And now don't forget to call in. The number is 707-445-0811. We'll be waiting for your calls. The third question will begin with you, Mr. Steward. What areas that might create a conflict for a judge, and what relationships do you have with other members of the local judicial system that might create an issue or recusal?
So my relationship with the current members of our judiciary here in Humboldt County are strictly professional. It's strictly a matter of me appearing before them year after year, day after day, appearing in their courtrooms. I'm happy to say that I have the endorsement of Humboldt County Superior Court Judge Timothy Canning. But as far as my experience and my relationship with the Humboldt County Superior Court Judiciary, it is strictly on a professional level, and I would have no conflicts.
Thank you. And Mr. McLaughlin, same question.
Thank you. Speaking of just conflicts broadly, Mr. Steward and myself will have conflicts regardless of who's elected, just coming out of practicing in the criminal division. We'll have a conflict with people we've either prosecuted or defended, and that conflict will wash out. Regarding familial relationships or relationships with people on the bench, I do live with my significant other, Judge Kelly Neal. She's amazing. She's an amazing judge, an amazing mother. We have a child and several dogs. There was recently, and I think this is the call, the question, a letter penned by Judge Canning about potential conflicts. Judge Neal researched the issue. The presiding judge researched the issue. The Judicial Ethics Council researched the issue. There is no conflict. So that was a non-issue. And I don't see any conflict that would be prohibitive to me practicing and sitting on this bench.
Thank you. And the next question will begin with you again, Mr. McLaughlin. We had a question on our community is experiencing high rates of property crime and violent crimes that affect businesses and our residents. How would you address this problem as a Superior Court judge?
Thank you. So the judge's position in dealing with this kind of criminal conduct is at sentencing. The judge generally gives a lot of deference to the prosecutor and the defense to work out a disposition. What the judge can do is require an offender, say for example somebody who's a vandal or breaks into a business, to pay restitution, to stay away from that particular premises. I also do believe that a lot of this sort of crime is driven by psychiatric and substance abuse issues. And I think that the resources that are available to the court should be utilized, for example, through DHHS, and also the Conflict Counsel's Office and the Public Defender's Office where I work now employ full-time social workers who have been amazing in their ability to help clients get benefits, find sober living, and enroll in counseling.
Thank you. And Mr. Steward, your answer to that question?
If I could get the question one more time.
Sure. Our community is experiencing high rates of property crime and violent crimes that affect businesses and our residents. How would you address this problem as a Superior Court judge?
Well, I think as it relates to property crimes, I think the people of Humboldt County are all too aware of that issue. I know just from working as a deputy district attorney, the number of property crimes has gone up. Things where people are leaving change in plain view in their car and their window gets broken and someone breaks into it. Same thing is happening to our businesses where windows are being broken and being vandalized. I think that really those types of crimes, while seemingly minor, really do tear at the social fabric of our community, of our cities, and I think there needs to be accountability for those types of crimes. Obviously, substance abuse is a big part of that, and there's a lack of mental health treatment in our community. I think we need to look at the underlying causes of that type of criminality. As far as serious and violent crime, people need to be held accountable, and I think people who victimize others in our community need to be held accountable, and I commit to doing that.
Thank you. And you will be starting with the next question, which is, do judges oversee plea bargains? What is your opinion on that process, Mr. Steward?
Well, ultimately, a judge has the say on whether a plea bargain is going to be accepted or not. And so while a defense attorney and a prosecutor negotiate a certain plea agreement, if it's something that the judge finds objectionable, extremely objectionable, the judge can reject that specific plea agreement. That is an important oversight role that a judge has, and it's something that if elected Humboldt County Superior Court judge, I will exercise that type of discretion to make sure that any plea deals that are entered into are, at the end of the day, just, that are good for the community, that are good for public safety, and that takes into consideration victims of crimes as well.
Thank you. And Mr. McLaughlin, the same question.
Thank you. Absolutely, plea agreements are necessary. I know that they're not always popular. Without plea agreements, the criminal justice system would literally grind to a halt. There are not enough courtrooms to try all the cases that we have. So in that sense, they're absolutely necessary. There are cases that perhaps should not be plea bargained, violent crimes, those sorts of things. The public might think are plea bargained too often, and that's where the judge would step in and ensure that a negotiated disposition recognizes the victim or survivor, as well as ensures that the sentence is fair in light of the offense. But absolutely, plea bargains are necessary. The parties usually arrive at that on their own, but it is up to the judge at the end of the day, after input from probation and counsel, to make a determination whether or not the agreement that's reached is fair and just.
Thank you. And you will start with the next question. What do you consider your most important endorsement and why?
It's hard to choose. I thought about this actually on the way down here. I am very proud of every endorsement because every vote counts equally. I'm honored that I was endorsed by Judge Colgrove. I'm honored that I was endorsed by the Yurok and the Hoopa Valley tribes. I'm honored that I was endorsed by the current and immediately preceding public defender, as well as the former district attorney and 2 former chiefs of police. I think that that's a broad base of support from people who are oftentimes in competing positions in the criminal justice system, and I hope that that would demonstrate how people on both sides of the aisle see me as a potential judge, that I'm fair and I take the job seriously.
Thank you. And Mr. Steward, that same question. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
I think the most important endorsement that I've received is probably from the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. This is the union that represents all of the county employees, including the Humboldt Transit Authority. The reason that it's particularly important and meaningful is because these are the folks who work in the courthouse. These are the people who work in the district attorney's office and work in county government. So I appreciate their endorsement, and that is particularly meaningful. I'm happy to say that I was also endorsed by the Humboldt County Democratic Party. I've also been endorsed by Republicans and Democrats alike. And so based on all of those endorsements, I believe that I am a consensus candidate. This is a nonpartisan position. So I think it speaks volumes to my candidacy that there is such bipartisan and widespread support that is evidenced by the endorsements that I've received during this campaign.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stewart. I guess this is going to be our last question. It's going pretty quickly, but we've had a couple of questions that concern this about civil law experience. It's understood that the first assignment for the next judge will be family court. How well prepared are you for that assignment?
So I am prepared for that assignment. When I worked in Washington, D.C. while I was in law school, I worked in a domestic violence clinic that where I represented individuals that were unfortunately the victims of domestic violence in DC Superior Court. In that assignment, it was not only helping those people get housing, clothing, but also representing them in complex divorce cases that involved separation of assets, temporary and civil protective orders, and dealing with getting people work authorization through the Violence Against Women Act. And so I have that experience, and if that is in fact the first assignment, I will be ready to hit the ground running on day one.
Thank you. And Mr. McLaughlin, the same question.
Yeah, thank you. Just civil law experience broadly, like I said, I do have the 5 years practicing in civil litigation. I did do family law for a spell in between the DA's office and the as a deputy public defender now. So I have actually done family law cases in California courts. I know the attorneys. There are attorneys out there, I can name a few off the top of my head, but I won't, who certainly know more about family law than I do, and will probably forget more about family law than I know. And that being said, I think I'm a quick study. I have no problem picking up a code book and reading and figuring out an issue, and I would intend to do that regardless of the assignment I have. If it is family law, I would do the same thing.
Thank you. And we're fast closing the program here. So to close the program, we're going to hear the closing statements from the candidates in summation. And Mr. Steward, your closing statement, please.
Thank you. As a Deputy District Attorney for Humboldt County, it has been the honor of my life to serve the people of Humboldt County by prosecuting the most serious and the most complex crimes in our community. I will put in the same hard work, the same work ethic, the same drive, the same energy that I've put into protecting the people of Humboldt County, holding people accountable if elected as Humboldt County Superior Court judge. I believe that a judge needs to show fairness, compassion, and accountability. I am committed to fairness, regardless of who it is who would be before me in my courtroom, whether it be somebody who is powerful, somebody who is not, somebody who is rich, or somebody who is poor. Everyone would be treated the same in my courtroom. As far as compassion, I understand that we have not just the coronavirus pandemic that we're facing, but there's an epidemic of substance abuse and a lack of mental health treatment in our community. I think we need to address those issues. I think we need to look at the underlying causes of criminality and address those issues, and that's what I commit to doing. If elected Humboldt County Superior Court judge, I will also hold people accountable. I believe that accountability and personal accountability is an important attribute that a Superior Court judge needs to demand from people, and I will bring that and those fairness, compassion, and accountability to the job of Superior Court judge. I have widespread support throughout our community from teachers and law enforcement officers, as well as, I stated earlier, Democrats, Republicans, defense attorneys, and prosecutors. And so I ask for your vote on June 7th. If you'd like to find out more information about me, go to stevenssteward.com, and I ask for your vote June 7th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Now, Mr. McLaughlin, your closing statement, please.
Thank you. We're going to be replacing a judge with 30 years of experience, give or take, as an attorney and a judge. I think it's important to replace Judge Wilson with a judge who has as comparable a level of experience as he does. I've been doing this for 23 years, since 1999. I have over 100 jury trials, probably 80 of which were, I should say I have 100 trials, 80 of which were jury trials. As a judge, I also want to be inclusive. I think it's important to maintain Zoom for the outlying people in the rural areas of the county. I want to reopen the outlying courts. I think it's important to collaborate with the tribes and assist them in treating their members who suffer from the generational trauma of forced assimilation, working with the tribal courts and the justice partners. I also want to establish programs like Uplift Eureka to assist people who are coming out of prison. As a judge, I don't think prison's a dirty word. I don't want to be misunderstood in that sense. There are crimes where you're going to go to prison. However, I do think that there are ways to also address underlying issues that may pay long-term dividends to the community, such as restorative justice in juvenile cases. I think that would be very important. I think the restorative justice models bear that out with respect to juvenile offenders. I can hit the ground running. I have the experience. I have the record, and I would ask for your vote. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you everybody for watching, and thank you KEET-TV, thank you candidates for running, and thanks everybody for coming in. The power of democracy is in your vote.